When I first came to town, they called me the Roving Jew. Now they've changed their tune, they call me Katie Crew. Through the woods I go, through the swamp and the mire, straight way down the road till I come to my heart's desire. If I was where I would be, I'd be where I am not. Here I am where I must be, where I would be I cannot. When I first came to town, they bought me drinks aplenty. Now they've changed their tune, they bring me the bottle empty. Through the woods I go, through the swamp and the mire, straight way down the road till I come to my heart's desire. Through the woods I go, through the swamp and the mire, straight way down the road till I come to my heart's desire. Katie Crew, which I originally learned from Karen Dalton, the great Karen Dalton. Hello, Bill Barton. Nice to see you here. Starting out with some traditional kinds of tunes. This next tune is very, very old. Almost as old as I am. It goes back to the 14th century. It's a noisy day here in Gravesend, Brooklyn. My wife is out right now trying to talk a guy with a leaf blower into standing down until I'm done with my live stream. If it gets ridiculous, that's going to be the way it goes, I guess. So this is the Song of the Wandering Madman, Time o' Bedlam, and it goes out to Samuel R. Delaney and my dear friend Chip Delaney. Bedlam boys, Bedlam boys, Bedlam boys are bonny, for they all go bare and they live in the air and they want no drink nor money. From the hag and hungry goblin that into rags would rend ye, spirits that stand by a naked man in the book of moons defend ye, that of your 5 sound senses you shall not be forsaken, or wander from yourselves with Tom abroad to beg your bacon. Oh, I do sing any food, any feeding, shelter, drink, or clothing. Come dame nor maid, be not afraid, poor Tom will endure nothing. The moon's my constant mistress, the lonely owl my marrow, the flaming drake and the night crow make me music to my sorrow. I know more than Apollo, for oft while he lay sleeping, I see the stars at bloody wars and the wounded wailkin weeping. Oh, I do sing any food, any feeding, shelter, drink, or clothing. Come dame nor maid, be not afraid, poor Tom will endure nothing. With a host of furious fancies, whereof I am commander, with a flaming spear and a horse of air, to the wilderness I wander. By a night of ghosts and shadows, I summoned am to tourney, 10 leagues beyond the wide world's end, methinks it is no journey. Oh, I do sing any food, any feeding, shelter, drink, or clothing. Come dame nor maid, be not afraid, poor Tom will endure nothing. I'll find my merry mad Magdalene, and I'll seek whate'er betides her, and I will love beneath of above the dirty earth that hides her. My staff has murdered giants, my bag a long knife carries, for to cut mince pies from children's thighs with which to feed the fairies. Oh, I do sing any food, any feeding, shelter, drink, or clothing. Come dame nor maid, be not afraid, poor Tom will endure nothing. Bedlam boys, Bedlam boys, Bedlam boys are bonny, for they all go bare and they live in the air, and they want no drink nor money. And that was Tom O'Bedlam, Song of the Wandering Madman, and this is my Saturday afternoon live stream, and I welcome you to it. Let me see who's here. Okay, tweaking the guitar up just a little bit there at the request. Thank you so much. Is that a little better on the guitar? Hello, Braxton. Nice to see you all, and this is my live stream. And I hope it. I just turned up the guitar at the request of one of my lovely people, and I welcome you all. If you have any other thoughts about the sound and everything, this is new to me with the headphones and the mixing board and all of that crazy stuff. Okay, those were traditional songs that I learned when I first came to the village. And this is one of the very first songs that I actually wrote, and it was inspired by the Beatles and Gilbert and Sullivan. By His Majesty's decree, the people are invited to a celebration on the palace lawn. If you come just after 3, the food and drink will be provided. If you don't go, you will wish that you had gone. For the princess is engaged to a 6-day tandem racer, a faster man on wheels there's never been. And the wedding date is reckoned at July the 22nd. When he arrives, the celebration will begin. Well, the king was very glad his daughter finally had a husband trapped to occupy her days. For she rarely did a thing but to sit and weep and sing, and to wander through the palace garden maze. And the tandem racer's name was Baron Basil Werner, possessor of a world-famed racing cup. Oh, you know, he spins his silver pedals and he polishes his medals, and you couldn't count the brides that he stood up. On July the 21st, the royal wedding was rehearsed, and everyone, except the groom, was there. They tried hard not to worry, they were sure that he would hurry and arrive with lots of time to spare. But from Luxembourg the tandem racer sent a cablegram. He'd raced against the clock and he had lost. His wheels spin round and they make a whirring sound, and you couldn't count the countries that he'd crossed. Well, they held the wedding anyway, though it started in to rain, and the princess emptied water from her shoe. It rained all day and the baron never came, and the people all found better things to do. A tragic tale there in the song of the 6-day bicycle racer. First halfway decent song I ever wrote, I think. The leaf blower started up again. I hope it's not too overwhelming. What a drag. It's just always something. Oh. Excuse me. Guitar wasn't a question of being tweaked up. The guitar wasn't even plugged in. I am just so bad at all of this stuff. Here we go. Sound is about to improve 100% because now the guitar is in the play with all the rest of the... There you go, some guitar. What it is. Okay, this is another early song of mine. Move on to some more stuff from the later 70s when I played with the Central Park Sheiks, but this was while I was still living in the West Village. And beside a water wheel, Dawn was laying diamonds in the grass. My Evelyn looked gently down. Water was her looking glass. The snow had come and gone, and the shoots of May were pushing through the ground. A bird did sing on every bough. Lord, it made the softest sound. Sun is rising, it's not surprising. I know the sun, he's my friend. I hardly know you, where are you going to, and when will you be back again? Sun is rising, it's not surprising. I know the sun, he's my friend. I hardly know you, where are you going to, and when will you be back again? The snow had come and gone. Shoots of May were pushing through the ground. A bird did sing on every bough, and Lord, it made the softest sound. Sun is rising, it's not surprising. I know the sun, he's my friend. I hardly know you, where are you going to, and when will you be back again? I hardly know you, where are you going to, and when will you be back again? Beside a water wheel. There you go. I hope that all sounds a little bit better there. Alrighty, the excitement never ends here, and let's move along. Early on in the show, I played a recorded tune from the Central Park Sheiks, a tune I know Braxton likes it, called "The Prize," and that's a nice recording from the Honeysuckle Rose album released by the Central Park Sheiks on Flying Fish Records back in 1976. This is another Sheiks tune. I wrote this. It was the very first time I ever tried to write a swing-type tune, and it turned out to be our opener for so many shows because it was a nice, lively opener. And the title of the song is "The Shipwrecked Man." I'm a shipwrecked man in a sea of trouble, watching the rain make crazy puzzles on the window pane. In a sea of rain, how do you stay dry? When I'm down, I go put on a record, even if I've heard that song too many times before. I play it one time more, it still makes me cry. She's gone, she left no number to call. She's gone, and lately I ain't seen her at all again, and all I do is watch the rain. She's gone, she left no number to call. She's gone, and lately I ain't seen her at all again, and all I do is watch the rain. If I were a bird, I'd fly above this rain cloud. Where the sun is shining, I'd be flying high. At least I'd try. Oh, if I were a bird, but I ain't. If you ain't heard, I'm just a shipwrecked man in a sea of trouble, watching the rain make crazy puzzles on the window pane. In a sea of rain, how do you stay dry? There you go, the shipwrecked man in a sea of trouble. Gonna go for about an hour, 45 minutes, something like that, from time to time. From time to time, I will do another song. That was a shipwrecked man. These next bunch of tunes are much more recent. I've had a kind of musical renaissance in the last few years because I got to be the host of Cafe Vivaldi's open mic and then the Cowgirl restaurant open mic, and I met so many fine and talented musicians and just lovely people, and so many of them writing such good songs that I was inspired to write some new and better songs myself. All of these tunes can be found at Bandcamp, where you can find my albums, and this particular tune is from the album called Salt for Silver. I have two albums up there, Salt for Silver and The Pop Cycle, and a third one called Swimming in Falling Water, which I'll talk about in just a couple of minutes, coming up soon, for which I have some enormously talented engineering help. Anyway, this tune is an acerbic commentary on the socio-economic zeitgeist. My grandpa was a grifter, a gambler, and a heel. He snuck around from town to town and he dealt a dirty deal. He went out in the wild world to steal what he could steal, and you know he stole a fortune, but the money wasn't real. No, the money wasn't real. Funny how it was, now the money wasn't real. He set out as a bandit, he came back empty-handed. He should have been a rich man, but the money wasn't real. Now the Pharaoh was a miser, his story has been told. He had 10,000 workers build a pyramid to hold all his statues and his trappings, his caskets and his gold. He wanted to have everything, but all he got was old, 'cause none of it was real. Funny how it was, none of it was real. His monument so grand just got covered up by sand. Now he's just another mummy, man, 'cause none of it was real. Now a poor man buys a loaf of bread, he shares it and it's gone. A rich man wrecks his Porsche, but his wealth keeps rolling on. And the good things that you've said and done are nothing you can pawn. 'Cause when you're in the underclass, you're always overdrawn, 'cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now the money isn't real. You can follow all the rules made by idiots for fools, and you think you'll get your just reward, but you won't. You won't pick up a penny, oh, but you might spare a dime. A dollar buys a pretty meager way to waste your time. A C-note gets your groceries, and a grand might buy a frill. You might rake in a shitload and still not get your fill. I live in America, a country built on greed, and I suppose that's not a bad thing if you just take what you need. But it seems everyone's afflicted by a hunger to exceed. Why should one man have a billion when there's a million mouths to feed? 'Cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now the money isn't real. You can burn it, you can earn it, oh, but you'll find it all amounts to nothing. Now I bought me some insurance in case I pass away. I've heard that could happen, and who am I to say? I might live forever, and then they'd never have to pay. Shit, who would be the loser then if it all turned out that way? 'Cause the money isn't real. Funny how it is, you know now the money isn't real. You can spend it, you can lend it, oh, you'll find that in the end it all amounts to nothing. It's funny how it all amounts to nothing. So funny how it all amounts to nothing. 'Cause the money isn't. And there's my acerbic commentary on the socioeconomic zeitgeist. The money is not real. And of course, the money is real enough that we worry about it every month. And so if you feel like helping out, then you just, this business down here, it's appreciated. If you can do that, it's much appreciated. If you can't do that, just your presence here and you're telling your friends what I'm up to, that's also appreciated. Okay, let me see who might have showed up, and I'm not scrolling down enough to see them. Ah, there you go. Well, a nice bunch of humans. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here and supporting what I do. This is a tune about the neighborhood I live in, neighborhood of the last 10 years of my life. What a way to put it. And today it's a neighborhood of sirens and leaf blowers, it appears. Our old Italian neighborhood has turned Chinese maybe for good. Water, water everywhere. The ghetto has been gentrified. The first folks have been pushed aside. Doesn't matter if it's fair. It's the same thing everywhere. The Indians who once lived here, they made their trade in hunting deer. Water, water everywhere. They made a bargain with the Dutch that really didn't help them much, but the Dutchmen didn't care. Money, money everywhere. The hippies have all moved upstate. The hipsters came to take their place. Maybe the only difference is the hair. And the little shops you could afford to shop in once, they now are boarded. But the building owners, they don't care. It's the same thing everywhere. Well, the water just goes where it will. You know it always flows downhill. Rivers running everywhere. And who are you and I, the kid? It just does what it always did, just goes where it's meant to be, flowing till it finds the sea. Water, water, everywhere. Now the music clubs are all shut down. New York is a rich man's town. Doesn't matter if it's fair. And the only music that remains is while you're waiting for the trains, and you can tip them if you care. So much free music everywhere. But the money just goes where it must. It's all about the boom or bust. Buddy, have you got a dime to spare? And who are you and I, the kid? It settles for the lowest bid. The bottom line is where it goes. That's just the way the money flows. Doesn't matter if it's fair. Now in my new Chinese neighborhood, the people that I meet are good. It's the same thing everywhere. No matter where they come from, friend, they're only people in the end. It's not their fault they had to settle there. People, people, people everywhere. People trying just to be everywhere like you and me, like water flowing to the sea. Water. People. People, people everywhere. There you go. I hope you got the gist of that. I'm going to play with these balances a little bit more. Maybe the voice is a little too hot. And the guitar could use a bit more boost. Have this Bragg pickup in my guitar, and the last Bragg I bought was just great. This one is not so great. So that was a non-commercial for the L.R. Bragg's company for not creating consistent products. I like consistency. Consistency is good. This is a tune called Salt for Silver. It's the title tune from my album, which by that dint is called Salt for Silver. And what it is an homage to Bob Dylan. And the reason it came into existence is that I discovered that Bob Dylan likes to make giant metal sculptings in the style of Pablo Picasso's metal sculpting work, if you know what that looks like, and Dylan's looked much like that. Found pieces of junk metal stuck together in huge contraption-like formations, which struck me as a good metaphor for the way he writes his songs, and that was what caused me to write this song, which is called Salt for Silver. Thank you, John Sheridan. Nice to see you here. I'll give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. It's poetry, these melodies are things that I have made. I've borrowed them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told. I'll give you salt for silver unless you offer gold. Gonna build a big machine, a mechanical collage. Gonna build it in the workshop in the back of my garage. It's gonna be a wild contraption made of cogs and wheels and gears and discarded bits of everything I've gathered through the years. And when it gets to rolling, it's gonna make an awesome sound. like thunder in the mountains or an earthquake underground. When I'm done, they're gonna ask me, Bob, just what does that thing do? And I will turn around and tell the man, well, what's it do for you? I'm gonna write a crazy song, I'm not sure what it's gonna mean. Might be plain, might be a puzzle, might be something in between. Gonna populate the verses with people from my dreams. It might point to something deep or maybe just be what it seems. And when I get to singing it, it's gonna make an awful noise. I really can't be bothered by the folks my voice annoys. When I'm done, they're gonna beg me, please explain that thing to me. And I will turn around and tell them, man, it's nothing you can't see. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their back. Gonna write an epic novel, a mountain range of prose. Might turn the tide of history or turn all my friends to foes. It's gonna be a wild concoction made of thoughts and words and prayers. There might be nothing underneath when you peel away the layers. Oh, if I fail in that ambition, I'm gonna put away my pen, put on ordinary clothes, and go and walk the world of men. Gonna look in all their faces at the stories in their eyes, in the hopes that all the misery I see there makes me wise. Do I really have to tell you that is just the way I roll? I'm just a simple farm boy with a complicated soul, who set out first to follow in Woody Guthrie's tracks, to sing about the common man and the burdens on their backs, who got waylaid in the city by the beatniks and the clowns, and the grief that always comes to you from mixing ups and downs, who tried his hand to Jesus and then suffered a relapse and had to rebuild his ideas from all these bits and scraps. I'll give you salt for silver if you'll only make the trade. This poetry, these melodies are things that I have made. I've woven them from songs I've heard, from stories I've been told. I'll give you salt for silver unless you offer gold. Salt for silver. Homage to Bob Dylan there. How nice to be playing for all you nice people. Just a quick word or two about what's going on here. I, along with most of the musicians that you may know in your life, because most of us don't know the famous ones, struggle in the current situation where we cannot go out and play jobs for the most part. We occasionally find a job. I'll be doing a couple of live streaming concerts here on the internets over the next month or two, but I haven't had a job in front of an actual audience in quite a while, and I'm lucky that I know how to perform even without an audience, because hey, I guess being not famous is a good thing in some ways. But anyway, I just want to say, for my sake, of course, if you can drop some money in the virtual tip jar, it's also appreciated. But I want to just point out, if your friends are doing this too, please understand this is what we have to do. So your support to them or me is greatly appreciated. You can support me by going to Bandcamp, downloading songs from my Bandcamp collection there. You can just drop a tip in the jar here. Or you can really take a bold move and go to Amazon, where you can find my currently released books, Dead Man's Coat and The Spindrift Factor, which are family histories, and I've been told extremely well written. Books that I believe in, and if you were to pick up a copy of those and somehow get it in my hand, I would certainly autograph it. You can also get an ebook version of those for ridiculously low sum. I want people to read my books. Also, if you do enjoy my writing and you've read my books and you'd like, for free, for gratis, I will send you an ebook edition of The White Gallery, which is a collection of short stories about growing up in New York City in the 60s and 70s and 80s. So happy to provide that for anyone that wants to read some short stories as a sort of witty man sampler. Now, the book Dead Man's Coat is based on my grandfather's life, and my grandfather, at the age of 13, came to America, and the Civil War was just about to start, and he ended up going out to the Colorado Territory, where he got involved in some misadventures, robbed a stagecoach. This song is based on one of the characters from that book, Mr. Crane, who was a prospector, who was finally decided that just poking around in the desert, in the hot, dusty, dry desert, was not the way he was ever going to make money, and decided to become involved in that self-same stagecoach robbery that I just mentioned to you. So this is the story of Crane the prospector. Rattlesnake waits in the shadow of a rock, field mouse hides from the eyes of a hawk, cactus stands like a statue of a man, him and me and my horse named Dan on a dusty road. Indian watching from a switchback ridge, ghost riders running up a cloudy bridge, twilight stealing in a corner of the sky, riding along thinking by and by I'll put down my load. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. There's a ghost town down where the creek ran dry, buzzards circle in the hard blue sky, dusty old bar, empty bottles on the shelf, piano in a corner that plays itself. It's a spooky sound. I hitched my horse to an old fence rail, fetched up water in a leaky pail. I want to get out of town before the daylight fails. I don't want to stick around. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I'd like a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. Jackrabbit runs from the scattering stones, blackbird cries to rattle your bones, cow skull laying by a watering hole, don't drink there, you might lose your soul in the burning sun. I left my home and I can't go back, wildflower growing in a wagon wheel track, dry wind coming down from the hills, looking for a place a waterfall spills when the day's done. Give me sweet fresh water now, and give me a cool, cool breeze. Let me lay my head down in a grove of shady trees. I want a big white house with a pretty little wife inside, and a moonlight palomino I can ride. Well, there's a moonlight palomino that I can ride, and I hope you're enjoying the show. See who's... Nice. Thank you so much. You guys are great, and much appreciate you being here. I'll be doing this every Saturday afternoon and every Sunday evening. The Saturday afternoon is for my local people and for people on the other side of the pond, such as John there. I have some fans in France and in England, and I have some fans in Russia. I'm not even sure how that happened, but I do. Alrighty, gonna do a few more songs for you here. This next tune is dedicated to the plastic bag. Hi, Rich McKay. This is dedicated to the plastic bag that is currently on the branches of the tree across the street from me. It's been in the branches of that tree for 10 years, and it's been a constant muse in my existence. And if that seems like a strange thing to write a song about, well, the song will explain that all to you. A plastic bag blows down the street, gets tangled in a tree. Chances are another breeze will come to break it free and blow it down the alley through the back lots to the beach, where a child may try to catch it, but it sails right past her reach. It floats out on the ocean, it settles in the tide, and a passing whale may swallow it and it gets lodged inside. Run, Jenny, run, come, look what's washed up on the sands. Come and see the gentle giant that's been slain by unknown hands. It's not your fault and it's not mine. It didn't happen by design. It makes us sad, it makes no sense. It was an unintended consequence. An old man has a cardboard shack in a weed-choked vacant lot. He's long since quit regretting all the things he hasn't got. He seeks no help from strangers, he lives as best he can. People say he's homeless, but I say he's just a man. He comes down to my street and lays a blanket on the ground, and he makes a meager livelihood from things that he has found. He might accept a quarter, but he'll settle for a dime, till the police come and stop him, 'cause they say that that's a crime. It's not your fault and it's not mine. It didn't happen by design. It makes us sad, it makes no sense. It's only unintended consequence. Now the hills have caught on fire since the summer brought us drought. The rangers fight it day and night, but they can't put it out. The people here are used to it, it happens every year. When a thing becomes familiar, we lose all sense of fear. And the weather lady tells us that there's not much chance for rain. The scientists predicted this, the Christians all are praying. But as for me, I'll find a quiet hill to watch it from, to practice my acceptance for the things that surely come. It's not my fault and it's not yours. Sometimes it's parched and sometimes it pours. There's no blame here to dispense. There's only unintended consequence. It's not their fault and it's not ours. We'll shift the blame to higher powers. Let's just say it was a long chain of events that led to unintended consequence. consequence. Well, we all know what that's about. Anyway, things that go wrong because we didn't stop to scrutinize the plan. Paul Simon, nobody stopped to scrutinize the plan. My pleasure to be playing for you. I'm going to milk a few more tunes because I see I have some late visitors. Let me just take a moment and see who I have. I have very poor eyesight, so I got to get in close to the... I would like to second the emotion expressed by my wife. I love my regular people. Thank you so much for supporting what I do. It's the hardest thing for me to get people to come over and watch these at YouTube because they're all at Facebook being mad at whatever the hell Trump is doing. I hope they can take a break from it and come and visit me. My live streams have some politics in it, so that's okay. They can come over and get a little politics. And but more than that, the live stream here is just sounds better than it ever did at Facebook. And I'm happy to be doing it. Happy to have an excuse to wear headphones, which make me feel so, 21st century style guy. Gonna do, if there's any requests from my listeners, I'd be happy to fill one out. That's right, and support all your other friends who do this too. We want to play. We're musicians. We don't want to just sit and stare at the walls. We want to take out our saxophonics and play music for you. This is a tune called Northbound Train, which can also be found on my album Salt for Silver, which is by and large sort of traditional and sort of country-esque kind of tunes. I wanted to mention that my dear friend Dan Simpson, who is my engineer for an album that I made many years ago called Living in the Stream, has agreed to do some engineering for me now, and we're mixing a whole bunch of new songs. And he's a just tremendous engineer, and he's going to make my own mediocre engineering go away and replace it with his indispensable ears. So Dan Simpson will be helping me with the album that I'm going to be releasing next, which is called Swimming in Falling Water. We just did a couple of tunes, and we're going to just keep on going until we have a nice little album full of tunes, I bet. And I do appreciate and love him and his beautiful, talented musical wife, Melody, so much. They live up in the mountains in the Carolinas. Nice. Riding on a northbound train, leave the South behind. Rolling through the blue-gray dawn, and I feel the past unwind. Hills and valleys, streets and alleys, little towns all in a row. People I may never meet, and places I may never go. Sometimes I feel just like a gambler when I watch my fortunes break. Or just like some weary rambler, wondering which fork to take. I got my backpack and my guitar, pocket change to pay my way. I bought myself a one-way fare. I'm going home and there I'll stay. Living up to what I said I'd do. Girl, you know I'm coming home to you. Play some changes while I'm rolling, looking for some words to sing. Take my rhythm from the train tracks, and I wonder what the muse will bring. fellow travelers in this night car, asking me what songs I play. They sometimes strike a harmony as we pass the rattling miles away, living up to what I said I'd do. Girl, you know I'm coming home to you, giving up the games I tried to play, coming home to you, and there I'll stay, riding on a northbound train, leave the South behind, rolling through the blue-gray dawn, and I feel the past unwind. Ooh-hoo. The northbound train, and that's just about an hour's worth of music, but it started a little slow, so I'll give you a few more minutes of music. Maybe the leaf blower will kick in right as soon as I'm finished. I have been quite under the weather recently, and I've been drinking a lot of this carrot juice. I recommend it to all of you. Not sure what I want to do. I know what I'll do. This is a song I'm busy recording right now. Wrote the first half of this song approximately 20 years ago. Only had half a song, did a production of it, always felt like just half a song. But recently, I found the motivation to finish writing the song, so this is originally released on the Big Wide album, which is no longer available anywhere, but soon to be in a beautifully recorded version on Swimming in Falling Water. In this world of trouble, child, everyone has grown up wild, and sometimes I think there's nothing that can save us. We've turned our backs on one another, turned away from earth, our mother, and squandered all the riches that she gave us. And every town and village, deep into the night, in their beds the restless sleepers turning. Down along the waterways and on the city walls, night men work to keep the watchfires burning. Little darling, don't you have no fear, don't you worry now, 'cause I'll be here, sure as the white dove that spreads her wings to rise to the light that the morning brings, as sure as the changing of the moon, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over. In these days of hate and war, it's hard to know just who you are, or if there's something greater you belong to. Is there someone who will take your hand and try to help you understand, or only someone you can sing your broken song to? Sailors on the ocean praying for the sight of land. They look out to find the lighthouse angels sweeping. Babies in the cradle on the wings of lullaby. Sweet sister, hold her safely in your keeping. Little darling, don't you have no fear. Don't you worry now, 'cause I'll be here. Sure as the white dove that spreads her wings to rise to the light that the morning brings. As sure as the changing of the moon, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over. Soon, soon your tears be over, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over, darling, soon. Soon your tears be over, darling, soon. And that concludes my live stream for the day. I thank you all so much. You're a sweetheart of an artist. Let me take one last look. Just. I actually had a request, and I can't say no to requests. And so this goes out to Rich McKay. And that's and because it's kind of a heavy song too, like the last one, I'll do one funny song after that because we need to leave on a lighter note. So you get some extra music today. And this is called Trouble in the Zoo from Living in the Stream. This water is much too cold, and these hard times are getting old, and the people looking down at me keep my soul in captivity. Plenty trouble, trouble, you've got that right. Yeah, trouble, trouble in the zoo at night. Well, the lion roars out his pain, dreams a dream of the African plain, the hot sun on the yellow grass, and the lake standing still as glass. Plenty trouble, trouble, you've got that right. Yes, trouble, trouble in the zoo at night. Freedom is so hard to find when you're defined as the lesser ones in the eyes of mankind, and they've got their gods and they've got their guns. Oh, Brother Giraffe, he stands so tall, he can't see over this wall, and the eagle in the smokestack sky sheds a tear like the rain on high. Plenty trouble, trouble, you've got that right. Plenty trouble, trouble, brothers, trouble in the zoo at night. Okay, Trouble in the Zoo for you, Richard. Thank you. Thanks for the request. If you come back in the future with requests, don't hesitate. If you like one of my songs, and I can still do it, I keep them pretty much all in practice. Let's end with something funny for you all here. Now the bellhop, he don't jump to do the chores. The elevator man's getting drunk between the floors at the Blue Hotel. At the Blue Hotel. So stay there overnight, they are bound to treat us right. You're always welcome at the Blue Hotel. The upstairs maid's got something going on the side. The house dick, he's been known to take a bribe at the Blue Hotel. Oh, bring along your aunt, meet me by the potted plant in the lobby of the Blue Hotel. When you step down and dine in our luxurious lounge, you'll get the finest meal that the house can scrounge. The chef is deaf, hear the waitress yell. In the kitchen of the Blue Hotel, the house band plays an anonymous bop. They play Savoy and the Bunny Hop. Busboys in the back room dancing with a mop. In the basement of the Blue Hotel, ring that bell if you want to call the clerk. Knock on the desk if the bell don't work at the Blue Hotel. Stay there overnight, they are bound to treat you right. You're always welcome at the Blue Hotel. And now the desk clerk's name is Grit Pipe Thin, and he checks you out as he checks you in. He writes your name with a pen on a chain. As he does this thing, you check out the terrain. You see Slippery Sylvester and his sinister maw hanging out in the shadows that lurk in the hall. The eyeballs are moving in a portrait on the wall. In the foyer and way up in the corner by the dusty curtain lining, there's a fat black spider dining. The picture isn't nice. There are poker playing mice behind the baseboards of the Blue Hotel. Ring that bell if you want to call the clerk. Knock on the desk if the bell don't work at the Blue Hotel. Bring along your aunt, meet me by the potted plant in the lobby of the Blue Hotel. Or when we're stepping off the street, you'll find the service so discreet. You're always welcome at the Blue Hotel. Don't steal the ashtrays. The Blue Hotel. Good night, everybody. Have a lovely rest of your Saturday afternoon, if you can. Tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock. Every Saturday, 3. Every Sunday at 7. Try to bring fresh songs into each batch. I've got about 50 songs, so always something new. Thanks for being here. Love you all so very, very much. Take care of yourselves. If you're stuck at home by yourself, love yourself.